sight reading is a conductor too.
You got the list?
I got the list.
It's-
Chloe has the list.
It's Patrick, Amanda, Josie, Norin, and Raquel.
Can you all be quiet for 1 second? Say it one more time, Colin.
Patrick, Amanda, Josie, Norin, and Raquel were the 5 that were supposed to be doing it.
1,
Well, there's
2,
Raquel.
3, 4, 5. Cool. Maybe we'll get through it. See what happens.
Okay, so let's start with you
Sight
since you
reading
have
can
the
be
floor.
wonderful. Come on up.
Okay. There's always something unexpected.
There's always something unexpected. You want to go first?
It's up to you.
I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll. Luke's on a roll.
I'm on a roll. We're going to go with it.
So,
A little flustered, maybe.
Are you supposed to be like the last one, or the first one?
Perfect. This sounds like a very good example of a real world experience, perhaps. You want to conduct it with time?
No, I got that with.
Cool. Okay. So, one of the big questions that we like to ask in the Alexander work is, what are you up to? And this can be something like reflecting, it's like, man, my arms really hurt now that I'm done playing. What have I been up to? But it can also be a question going into what you're about to endeavor in. It's like, okay, I'm about to conduct this piece for the group that's in front of me. You're about to conduct this piece for the group that's in front of me.
Yeah.
So what are you up to? Where are your thoughts? What is your intention, musically or otherwise?
Okay, so this is the arrangement of the piece that I made.
Okay.
So I don't know yet how it's going to be the sound, even though I have like the fortes and pianos and things like that.
Mhm.
So I wanna hear how it sounds to figure out if someone that it has a forte should have a mezzo forte or a piano to have like a homogeneous sound.
Okay. Perfect. How do you want to achieve that?
Listening.
Perfect. Yeah. That's like what we're really good at, right? Listening. That's spot on. So that's one of the tenets of the Alexander technique again, is communicating a sense of the ability to listen. We do that by talking and do that by talking to you. It's like, I'm listening to you and you're listening to me. Do that also by putting our hands on different parts of a person in order to communicate that sense of listening and that sense of, oh, I'm actually here right now listening. But put my hand here and give you a better sense of this is your back in this moment. And that's part of you that's conducting. And it seems like a little bit silly maybe. But it's actually a fact, it's like you're using your whole person to conduct. So when you acknowledge where you are in the present moment, and you listen to yourself first, then you have a little bit of a clear space know a little more with a sense of refinement what it is that you're listening to or what it is that you want to listen to. So we're just looking to clarify that musical intention. You want to hear the dynamics, like you said, you're looking for this homogeneous sound. So when you acknowledge, like, oh, these are my feet right now, this is me on the podium in this moment, you got a little bit clearer sense of what you're up to, of what you're about to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
You want to ask a question?
No, I'm trying to process.
Yeah, that's fine. So give it a shot, please. And let's see what comes up.
Okay. Again. So trombones. Could you play a little bit softer? Just at the beginning, when you get in. Okay. Okay. Piano guitars are okay. Horns are fine now. And clarinets a little bit strong. Just a little bit.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
I'd like to work on just the moment of cueing everybody in, really drawing in their attention.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you have everyone's attention as the conductor?
No.
All right, that's perfectly fine. So how could you get their attention?
I don't know. I try to look all of them.
Okay.
I try to look when they get into that moment when they start playing.
Mhm.
Like for example with the horns and trombones. But when they all start together, I try to do it with both hands, like everything. Like everybody needs to start.
Cool.
I
yeah.
try to do that fast.
And can you guys speak to that? Because it seemed just a little bit disjunct in that moment of like everybody coming in. What did you guys notice? What did you observe then?
The pattern is a little unclear.
Okay.
When it's pattern itself is clear, but the beats are not.
What else did you notice?
The tempo fluctuates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
You're looking at us, but you're not showing your face, which might be why you're not playing what she has.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good one.
That's a really good one. That's spot on. So let's look at, like we said, the how of it, basically. The what are you up to? How can you have a clear body language and clear gestures that everyone wants to look at you? They want to know when they come in, like, oh, can we please play? Like, it's almost our turn, you know? How can you really have their attention? I can ask that rhetorically, but what if I actually ask you? Yeah, that's fine too. Okay, so we've got a good question. You guys would like to feel a little more involved, I think. Does that sound accurate to say? So how can you involve them? How can you acknowledge where is your space here and bring them into that. That's a tricky question. I think my experience most of the time is that if you stay here with a little more resolve, if you really know where is your space and own that, then you can draw them into it. They'll get really curious. You're not trying to get them to come with you. You're just very resolved in where you are. You want to bring them along. Do you understand the difference there in that?
Yeah.
So when you start this time, really give yourself time to listen to like what it is that you want to say with this piece. What is the color of it, what is the imagery, that kind of stuff, And invite them into that imagery that you have. And when you raise your hands and when you cue different parts, bring them into your space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let me put it another way. Really okay, really think about the imagery that you've got for the piece, right? And think about this idea of like, if you really are trying to convince them, you want to tell them so badly what it is. And you're just like, you keep finding that whatever words you use, this is not quite working. So rather than trying to tell them, show them. Does that distinction make sense?
Yeah.
So, there was a moment before, and so I do want you to move into the piece, but put your hand on again. And Raquel, there was a moment like right before he took his hands off where your attention shifted, and I'm sure Luke sensed that too. That's the kind of, that's what he means, is that kind of attention. You were just there, standing, and you were connecting with everyone, but, yeah, there was just a difference about your attention. I don't know if you caught it. Okay, so that's why, that's why I want him to kind of invite you back into that space of just being here on the podium, resting your feet. Connect with them, don't look at me. Connect with them, connect with the image of your piece, the tempo, and let them come to you and start.
Should I start from the beginning or can
Why don't you
say-
start from that moment when everybody comes in?
Okay.
Let's explore that. Let's just explore their attention relative to your intention.
Okay. So everybody from A, please.
What'd you notice?
They stay more together more. I don't know. The first time it was like, probably because of me, they were like dubitative or something like that, like
Mhm.
playing and they are like more confident. I don't know.
And how would you guys put that? What'd you notice was different?
You felt a lot more confident, or at least that's the vibe I got.
Try that one more time. Double down on that. What if it was even
easier, and you could bring it even more to life.
Really had that confidence that they felt it. That's all we have time for. But thank you.
How was that last time?
Yeah. How was it last time?
Yeah, it was so much better. Like,
And how?
it has like more of our, like, everybody was like more together. I really like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the good stuff about music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt you really moving with not too much, but just enough, a little more with your whole body. It wasn't as fixed as the first time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so does somebody want to venture up and maybe sight read something, score that we have? Or we can ask one of the persons who does have the score for one of the other things, like the Linden side. Who's conducting that one? Okay.
Then I also have the idea that maybe we could do hands-on with people who volunteered, but maybe just while they're playing their instrument,
Mm-hmm.
if they would like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we could do some of that too. So, is everybody up for, anybody up for that? Everybody up for that? Just so that we don't put hands on if you don't want to? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so, what's your name? Amanda, okay. And would you like to work with Amanda?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ingrid is another student in training. This is developing presentation.
Is the awkward key look right?
We're doing with like 6, just to clarify.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Yes, we're in line, and I'm just gonna give the big half.
So are you okay with receiving hands-on? Cool.
speak a little louder, Ingrid, so that everybody can hear?
Sorry.
Yeah.
And everybody can benefit from your direction.
Just for a minute, can I please support you? Just ground and review. Really connecting with support. Connect with the room around you at the same time. Stay present. Space all around you. Space around you. In Alexander technique, we have this thing called primary control in the neck. And there's just a little bit more space right throughout here. There's more freedom throughout the whole body. So did you choose this piece, or was it what made you want to choose this piece? I've played it before and I like it. What do you like about it?
I don't know, it sounds kind of nautical, and I like that. I like this piece in general, and I like Percy Granger. And we were told to pick something outside of our comfort zone, and it's a little bit not waltzy. And that's,
So it's in 3/4, but it's not as waltzy.
yeah, because that's, yeah.
So it sounds like you've challenged yourself to be outside of your comfort zone. I think being up on stage here at all is outside of most people's comfort zone. Definitely outside of my comfort zone. Um, So how does that affect the performance, you being outside of your comfort zone?
I'm more timid than I can have.
So you definitely have an awareness of what you're up to while you're doing this activity. So my intention is just not to make you feel any different or to tell you how to do something different, but just to support you and how you feel in this moment. There's nothing wrong with feeling timid. So yeah, just put my hands on and you can start whenever you feel ready. From the beginning.
That was my fault.
Can you also speak a little louder?
So, and what do you, if you had to put your own words to it, what are you showing them?
Not much.
Um, so what's getting in the way of showing what you want to show them? Or what is it that you want to show them? Can you be a little more specific about the music or an intention?
I don't know, just, I want them to feel the music and not be concerned about the notes. Not like the notes on the page, but don't be so scared.
It's whoever's the Afro-Cuban melody.
Yeah. So that's a really good awareness that you have. What you show will be reflected back to you by the musicians. So there's no easy answer for this, but what if we could all dare to show a little bit more, to really connect with what we want to show? If I do it in myself, maybe I can help you do it too. So I'm just listening to you. You listening to yourself. So just consider what you want to show for this piece. And just consider what it would be like if there was no hindrance between you and what you want to express. Maybe just feeling a support underneath you would kind of help with that.
if it's just the angle.
Yeah, the downbeat's supposed to be on the down.
Okay.
I think there was a moment right before you had to play where the attention shifted just a little bit. So I wanted to connect with that, or you start connecting that, daring to express what you want to.
You noticed that shift in attention.
What?
The shift in attention that Ingrid's talking about, did you notice it from yourself?
It's okay.
So, but she needs then maybe a little support noticing that again. That would help. In a way, it has to do right with right this moment. That what's happening right now is where your attention can open up, and where you can use the support that Ingrid's giving you. Yes, that's different. Yeah, so conduct with that. How was that?
It's better.
And how was it better? How was it better? Can you describe how? I know it's tricky, but see if you can find one or two words to put to it.
I mean, it wasn't great, but like, I guess I felt more connected to it.
Why don't we ask them then? What was different this time? How did you guys feel?
The tempo was a little more steady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you seem more focused and stable.
Anybody else?
Seem happy.
What did you say?
Seem happier.
Yeah, happier. Did you enjoy it a little more? Like what Ingrid was telling you at the beginning, like the inviting you to connect with what you like about the piece? Yeah. so that can give you confirmation. Did you notice that you lost it again, and then Ingrid came back with her hands, and then you were able to come back into that space? Or can you start to distinguish sort of that difference in quality of attention?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. Well, that's a beginning. That's something. Okay? Good. Yeah, thanks, Ingrid. Okay. So what piece is this?
This is Afro-Cuban lullaby.
Okay.
So, just some like quick reminders, please. I know there's like some notes that you can't play. There's like chords, just pick a note from the chord, and then if there's notes that are too low, you can either like read it as is or take it off. Oh yeah, that's just a general thing. If you have harmonic notes, just play them as if they're like the regular notes. Don't play them as harmonics. And then for clarinet and trumpet, just transpose it. Everybody else should be good. Any other questions like before we start? No? Everybody good? Okay.
I just have one other logistical question. Is this all that we have the scores for, just for our timing?
Yeah.
Yeah? So there's, no one else has a score, or
I do have a score.
you do,
but I
Faye?
hadn't planned on.
What?
I do have a score, but I hadn't planned on.
Okay, but would you like to step up, and we save a little time for you at the end?
Either way, I don't need to. I'm not really, I don't really care.
What? Okay.
I could.
And you?
If there's extra time, could I sight read your score, Raquel? I could do that.
Okay. Yeah.
If there's time.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can, that's why I'm asking, so we can make time. Okay? Okay.
Lots of different reasons. I'm pretty insecure in like my skills in conducting, I guess.
Okay, in the skill in conducting, and insecure, like, does that, okay, yeah. I guess I was asking this, because you did a pretty good job of acting confident up here. So hence my question is, as a person in general, do you feel pretty confident, and it's just with the conducting, or, that's a tough question.
I don't know. I don't think I'm like overconfident. I think I feel comfortable in my ability in those things.
And then conducting a little less, well, you're still learning. Okay, so is there a specific aspect that you don't feel so confident in with conducting?
I always feel like my pickup is too slow, and like every time I'm trying to fix it, it doesn't work. And so like starting off, it's like really shaky, and then like as it gets going, like it gets more together. But, like,
Okay, so when you see a score with a pickup, what happens in your body? What happens in your mind? What happens to you? You see the score and then just pick up.
well, even when there's not a pickup, even when it like starts on the downbeat, I feel
Okay.
like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you get a sense of it if you think of it now?
If it's helpful feedback, I felt like the pickup was actually quick this time, and we started out faster and slowed down in the first couple of minutes.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're maybe less confident with is really feeling that tempo inside and then going from or what you hear it inside to feeling it inside to actually translating it into the gesture. Yeah? Okay. In this little bit that you played, what actually went well for you?
I feel like everybody sounded pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part. I mean, it was pretty together for the most part after like the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like we were together. I think I could have been like more expressive instead of just lots of people.
Okay. So then we have people sounding good. It was pretty much together, but you want to work on the tempo, well, the beginning and the clarity and then more expression. Does that pretty much sum it up? That you would like to work? Okay. Good. So how do you think that might work to work on? I mean, how might you work on that?
Well, most of the time when I try and start, I have the tempo in my head and I try and sing through like the first measure or so before I start.
Mhm.
That's what I try and do. But then typically mine's too slow. But as Jake pointed out, this time it was too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I guess I'll just try.
So why don't can you,
Did you have something?
Yeah.
Instead of just thinking about like the beginning of the piece, skip in your mind to where the melody comes in and just kind of sing through that melodic line in your head before you start it, and that should help solidify it more than just like thinking about a measure or two at the beginning.
Okay.
yeah, that's a really good advice. Okay, so why don't we do that actually right now? Find that place where the melody comes in. And I'd like you to go through it in your head and allow yourself to, oh, interesting. You notice what happened to your neck when you started to think about going through the melody?
No, I know what's happening in my stomach. My stomach feels weird.
Okay. Well, maybe your neck is expressing something in your stomach. What I felt under my hands is when I asked you to sing that bit, everything went really stiff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so can you imagine you're in the woods and you're humming this tune to yourself, and it's a beautiful day, and you've just eaten a nice meal. Your stomach isn't weird, and you're completely fine. relaxed about what? In general?
Yeah, just in
Physically,
general, like
mentally?
physically, mentally.
Okay. So, how do you think you got there? Because you want to be able to get there without me. I facilitated, but I didn't give you anything that you don't already have. I couldn't. It's in you. So it's that taking that time to be with yourself, with the tempo, and getting a sense of the support underneath your feet. That always releases a lot of tension. And then you talked about the confidence in the beginning. So it seems like, though we didn't talk about it right before the second time playing, that there was more confidence just because you were more connected to that melody. So what about we add in the expression, and maybe that might help, that confidence in the expression, like what you want to say with this piece, right? And then there's also something to do, like what Ingrid was saying with Amanda earlier, is there is an important relationship between the head and the rest of you in the back, and if the head is pulled back, that tenses the neck, and that creates tension throughout the body. So what we noticed earlier when you were thinking of that part at first, you kind of got tight. So when you think of tempi and practice on your own, then you can notice if your neck is tensing up. So notice that if you finding the support of your feet, and think of what you would really like to express. So the tempo, but also the expression. What emotion would you like to invite the ensemble into? And like Luke said, also let them come to you. Let you be this confident presence that allows the musicians to come to you. See if you can now gently open your eyes, connect with everyone. See if you can transition smoothly from where you were thinking to actually conducting. And then just noticing this relationship between your head and the back. Yeah, that can be free the whole time. Okay, try it out.
didn't realize like the difference between like breathing and not breathing between the two.
Yeah. How was it for you guys? This third time? In which ways? You're nodding, but so, I know it's hard to articulate, but how was it different?
You seemed more comfortable, which made us more comfortable.
There you go. That's the real bit of the art of conducting, is that the conductor actually has to have the, in a way, the ease and the comfort for 100, you know, and exude that, you know, for 100. Anything else? Did the tempo feel, did the pickup feel better? Okay.
There wasn't as much fluctuation, which was really good.
Steadiness and tempo. So again, it just, through all of you, what keeps coming back is that if you, and Ingrid said it really well, also in regards to herself, you know, if we as the teacher, we're trying to teach you something, we better be, you know, walking our talk. We better be actually in that space that we want to convey. And you as the conductor, if you want to convey a certain expression, a certain tempo, you got to be, you know, it's got to be oozing out your pores, you know, and you got to be really with that. And then you don't need to do so much out here. This is just a translation of what's already happening. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. So you? Since you asked and you wanted to type it.
Hang in with me. Very good, this never stops. All right. Let's go.
pretty interesting to have it conducted by someone else.
Yeah.
Is it interesting for you too?
I mean, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a composer, so
Yeah.
I read the piece, someone composed and another place.
I got lost at like, is there a C? Somewhere after me I got lost. There's no C. There we go.
That's pretty good sight reading.
Part of it.
We were at like,
Yeah,
Okay,
we stopped
so near the end.
before the
yeah,
end.
we were like,
Good stuff.
So where was your attention?
I was listening more than I was looking at the score.
Okay.
And I guess I was trying to think of how I was going to go back and try to put in dynamics and musicality in the beginning. So I was distracted in that way as well.
Okay. So attention a little bit on the past.
Yeah.
What was the quality of your attention? If you had to put an adjective to it, color to it, word to it.
I put a color to it, blue.
Yeah? What else? Go with that.
I don't know. I suppose it was sort of a calm attention. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine. We'll clarify that a little bit maybe as we go along. What did you guys notice about her attention or her musical intention?
he was like very with us. Like, when you look at people, it's like with purpose. It's not just like looking out over like the ensemble, like, okay, you're playing now, so I'll look at you.
Sense of purpose, I like that. What else?
I agree that it was calm, but also it was calm like this, like that sense of where it is going at the same time.
You were super focused, but that is the word that kind of sums everything up. Because like you being calm is one thing, but being able to channel that into your connecting and have us feel the same way, that's
What would you guys have liked more of? What do you think there could be more of? Expression?
Yeah. But I mean more segment.
Yeah, definitely.
I did my
Definitely.
best.
What would you like more of if we go into it again? I know there's technical things, but as far as the how, what would you like more of?
I suppose I would like more of the voices that weren't melody.
Okay.
Because I'm hearing melody really well, and I heard, I guess saw on the score, there's one part where the horns have a really cool counter melody, and I noticed it too late, so I didn't exactly cue it, and then it was quiet. So, where exactly is that?
Are you talking about like A? Because it is a really cool part.
It might just start at A. That's probably what I was thinking of. I remember hearing it. I guess that's horn and trumpet, and I wanted more of that.
Okay. And what is what's the quality of the more today that you would like? If we could clarify that sense of calm or expressive a little bit more.
I would say bolder. Not necessarily, maybe a little bit louder, but the way it came in this time was timid. So I'd like to show it a little bit. Just
Excellent. No, I think that's really good. There's a lot of different types of calm, you know? It can be just floating in a bathtub type of calm, or it can be bold calm. It can be just like impressively calm. Like you were saying, they're really focused. Wow. You know, that kind of idea. So, take a moment, just listen to what you just shared with us. What you liked about it, what you didn't like. Just checking it. Kind of taking a pause. And giving yourself the opportunity to appreciate. clarify where you are in this moment, where your head is floating on top of your spine. What is your relationship with gravity, where your feet are? As I'm helping you clarify these things, have a better sense of a bold, calm, really, like, this word's paired really well. Yeah. Like, just the yoga relaxing. Really appreciate you in this moment. You over your feet. Can you unlock this for me? Just unlocking. Right. Unlocking you. And then just unlocking. See how you can get a little more information from the other. Maybe a little bit easier to stand. Maybe less work to stand. You can take that energy that's there and reinvest it in the musical energy. So you're here and you know what you want to say. And I think they want you to say it. They're giving you these eyes. Like, let's do that again. So you have their attention. So just really appreciate it. So I'm gonna be ready.
From the beginning.
What do you want to say?
That felt more expressive, I think. I was trying to show more expression.
What you guys notice? I saw a couple people having fun. I
Yeah.
distinctly saw some fun had. in there.
We
It flowed a lot.
we spotted some fun. Sorry, guys.
What else? How did it feel in body?
Oh, that's directed towards you.
Or anyone else.
Well, anyone too.
I mean, it felt better. I was more aware of my knees and what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I usually love.
Yes. Wild until discovered by what you're up to while you're what you're up